Hello, my lovelies. Elsie here with your sneak peek for the week. No, I'm not looking at you. Look, I only got one eye today, which is kind of relevant, but I mean, of my two eyes. Yeah, I've got a really bad sty, so no makeup, no camera ready, and you don't get to see that, and I'm not comfortable showing you that. So one of my eyes is kind of swollen shut, and that's the way it's going to be today. We're going to have to just look at my hands. Thank you so much for clicking here. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming here and watching. I've got 12 decks to my left, and I'm going to read a little bit from each one of those decks so you have some energy for the next 7 days. So whether you are a sun, moon, rising, Venus, or Jupiter sign in your collective sign, your collective energy, I may have some energy here for you today. I'm just going to ask you to do more than just watch for your sun sign. You don't really know what's going on if that's all you're doing. You're just watching for your personality. By the way, natal charts are free everywhere. And if you know if you were born in the morning or the night, you can probably get yourself a rising sign as well. All right, let's find out what's going on here. The only other thing I have to tell you, my friends, is that we are just about in full-on retrograde in Cancer, Mercury retrograde in Cancer. We are in the pre-shadow phase at this time. It goes into retrograde full-on on the 29th of the month, and it'll be there for most of July. Let's find out what's going on for you. Oh yes, and if you're interested in a private read, please check the pinned comment. There's a link to Hipsy there. I do live reads, I do pre-recorded reads. If you're interested in any of that, contact me there. We'll get you set up. All right, Aries, let's find out what's going on for you, friend. Sun, moon, rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me what's going on for Aries, please. My fire family. I got more fire than earth here. Tell me about Aries. We have the Nine of Swords. We've got the Devil. What is worrying you? It's like you've got worry on a loop here. What's going on? You're worried something is about to go wrong. The Ace of Pentacles is in the reverse. Are you worried about finances or money? It feels like you are not sure whether you should invest something. Look, I feel like the reason that you're worried about the investment is because there's something here that you have carefully and slowly built on your own. It could be your reputation we're talking about. It could be, you know, how you show up in your career. It could be financially, you could have built a business. But with the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse, it almost gives a question mark. It feels like, should I invest there or not? I'm going to say that if you're in this place of feeling worried about it, Aries, do not do it. That's not temperance. Temperance will show up eventually and will tell you, look, if you feel content about making that decision to do that, then do that. But right now, I don't think this is the time. I think you're really nervous that something is going to go wrong, that you're going to attach yourself to something that is going to fall flat. So I'm going to say for now, keep your reputation, keep your confidence, keep your money in the bank until you feel like it's the right time. If you're feeling the Nine of Swords, please know that this is not the right time. Tell me about what's next here. We've got the Ace of Wands. But Elsie, this is such a good opportunity, and I really do want to go. It seems really exciting. Maybe we're talking about a trip. You know, wands are also about adventure and excitement, right? We've got the Queen of Wands. So there it is. There's the engine, right? Vroom, vroom. The engine. I feels like somebody here has made a plan to go. But now that the time has come, it feels as though you're maybe holding back a bit. It feels like the Two of Wands is telling me that there's a plan in place already. Maybe you've already paid for the tickets. Maybe you've already promised someone that you would do it, invest the money, give them money. It feels like at the last moment, you're not really sure whether you should move forward or not with the plan you've already devised because you're worried now about the plan. If you move too quickly, the Queen of Wands will bounce back. But if you move too quickly, you could lose your investment, whatever that is. And it's time, effort, energy, money, health, and career, whatever it is that you're planning on investing in. So you've got the Four of Cups. This tells me, should I just stay where I am for now? I think that somebody here is offering you something. And it feels like it is an offer to travel, to adventure, to do something quickly. Like it feels like now is the time. You've got to make the decision right now, Aries. And I feel like you are not exactly sure if you want to do that because it may impact your foundation. It may impact your reputation. It may impact your business. We've got the Eight of Swords in the reverse. We've got the Four of Pentacles. And we've got the King of Cups. I feel like you're calling in all of the things. Like, it feels like you're calling in your intuition. You're kind of really searching through the mind. It feels like here you may hold back because of something your intuition is telling you. The Eight of Swords tells me you do get out of your head and you stop overthinking it. But it feels as though you're making a very grounded, stable decision. You may go with the plan, but you may go with the plan careful. It feels like you are cautiously optimistic about something, but you're keeping how you feel about it under the surface. It feels as though you're kind of holding back your emotion. It feels like I'm going to hold back how I feel about that for now until I get more information. Yeah, you're kind of in this place where it feels like you're at a crossroads. You feel like if you don't do it now, you lose the opportunity. But if you do it now and you do it too quickly, what are the consequences of that? So the Two of Swords is telling me that my intuition is not telling me what to do at this time. I would say that that's the reason you're holding back. You've stopped overthinking it, but I feel you're still a little bit worried about what the outcome might be. Let's talk about the outcome. Tell me about Aries, please. The outcome, we've got the Two of Wands. I was talking about the Two of Wands right there. This could be about a move, Aries. We've got 2 and 2, we've got wands, 4 wands. It could be about going to the next level of something, the next level of a deeply feeling relationship, the next level of your career. It feels like for me, 4 of wands is always about the next level where I'm going to get my stability. You could be selling or buying a house. It feels like it's something that you will do and not take a step back on, because we've got Capricorn energy here, we got Virgo energy. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn is present here. We've got the Chariot. Excuse me. That's what's causing this sty. I've got a bunch of allergies going on at this time. All right. My apologies for that. We've got the Chariot here. And we've got the Seven of Swords. Look, the outcome is what you're worried about. You're worried about the outcome of some sort of investment because it's going to take a chunk out of something that you've worked really hard to accomplish on your own. It feels as though with the Two of Wands that the plan is here and you want to go forward with the plan, but it feels as though you are practicing discipline. Discipline. I do want the victory, but the Seven of Swords is telling me that something's being concealed here. And I think that that's why this Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer energy here is telling you, hold back for a moment. You're at the crossroads, and the crossroads is an important place to be. I'm just going to throw a couple cards on this Two of Swords here, because this is the decision-making process, and your intuition is telling you to hold back until something is released or until you see something clearer, because she's sitting under the moon. We have the 7. It's telling you to wait, friend. Wait before you make some sort of really important decision. It could be maybe you're making a decision to sue somebody, but it also could be that maybe you're making a decision to restore some sort of emotional thing that's been growing. It feels like you want to be very intentional with your decision-making process, but it also feels like you feel something is here that you don't quite see. You don't trust the situation. So you're keeping your feelings under the surface here. You do want the victory in the plan that you're making and going to the next level of something here, but there's something here that, and when your intuition is not truthfully telling you it's go time, then my suggestion is to hold back. 4 of Pentacles. We've got the King of Wands. That I could be talking about a relationship, going to the next level of a relationship. We've got 2, now we've got 5 wands, right? Which is indecision. It's indecision. It is also, I'm not really sure. It's like holding back before I decide to face this person who I feel is probably a good fit for you. It does make you nervous about what you are risking or putting in here. The Magician is here. And then we have the 2 of Pentacles. So there is a wobble here. The thing is that you know if you want it, it's yours. The Magician is here saying, I create my own reality and I have all the tools and the resources I need to go forward. So I feel like you know you can have it if you want it, Aries, but you are really trying to figure out if this is really what you want for your life. I don't think you've decided. I think you're wobbling on making some sort of decision for a reason, because it's a long-term commitment is what it feels like. It's a lot of money. or it's a long-term commitment. Or maybe if I start taking this course, maybe I've got to go to school for 5 years to do it. It feels like a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of effort, it's like it's going to eventually be something good for me, right? Ace of Cups. It's going to eventually overflow my cup. But do I want to do that right now? I feel like it's probably a financial investment, but it also could be, am I going to be happy, and how much will this impact me? Will I end up just walking away in the end? And if you do walk away, you might, look, we got the 10 of Pentacles here in the 5, you might lose half of your investment. If you know what I mean? Like, it could be a relationship. Like, it feels like somebody here is making a really big long-term investment, and if it doesn't work out, I could lose half of everything. And that could be maybe the deposit you've put down, or whatever it is. It could be a relationship thing. All right, we've got Virgo energy, we've got Libra, more Virgo, we've got more Libra and Virgo. Go over the details and take your time making a decision. We've got Capricorn, Aries, and Gemini, Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, Taurus, Capricorn. We've got Aries. I'm going to say that we've got Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini because we've got all of these swords here, but we've got Cancer energy, emotions that you're trying to discipline and keep under the surface while you're struggling to make a decision about what to do next, because your next move is a permanent move. All right. Tell me about my bull gang. Hello, Taurus. How are you? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. The next 7 days, Taurus. Let's find out what's going on for you. Sorry, I'm not looking at you, friend. I don't know if you skipped over the first part, but I've got a patch on my eye here. Got a pretty bad sty. My face is a bit swollen on the right there, so you don't get to look at that today. Tell me about Taurus. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Taurus, please. Next 7 days. Taurus, something exciting that you don't see. It's kind of ominous, but it feels exciting. Do you know what I mean? Like, maybe you're worrying, feeling that what is about to change, or there is something that's new and exciting, but I can't see down the path. I don't know what it is. What is this? We've got the 9 of Swords. It does make you a little bit worried. This is a feeling of excitement, but a little bit of worry. It feels like you really don't know what it is. You're trying to be courageous. It feels like you're trying to hold back a little bit and not make a snap decision, I'm going to say, about something that looks exciting from the outside. It feels like you are going to have to find the courage to step forward here if you want to relieve yourself of some sort of burden you've been carrying around for a while. I think that when this does emerge, I'm going to say emerge because I see that there's sort of an ominous fog going on behind the Ace of Wands. When this does emerge, I think you will breathe a sigh of relief. It almost feels like you are holding yourself back from running out on the path to see what it is. I feel like you're practicing holding back, being courageous, and waiting for something to show up. But it does feel like it's making you a little bit nervous about the future. And what might come of whatever this is. Tell me more about this Ace of Wands. What are we talking about? We've got the Devil. We've got the 10 of Swords in the reverse. And we've got the Star, Taurus. It feels like something that is still attached to you that you haven't quite let go of yet. When the 10 of Swords is in the reverse, all the pain is present. But it seems like you can't let go of the pain, or the pain won't let go of you. The ending isn't here yet. You can't release the pain. You can't release whatever's attached to you. I feel like you're really trying to heal. And I think that you are trying to move forward. But I feel like until you release the attachment from this Devil energy, which is sort of an energy of doubt or fear or, it's a constant thought pattern that's looping. The Ten of Swords being in the reverse tells me that it's still quite painful and you haven't fully healed from this yet. I think you are trying to move forward, but the future looks ominous with this Ace of Wands and all the fog and everything around it, because you haven't let go of the past. The past is influencing the present. You're like, no, I'm just not going to do this because it's going to happen like it did before. But I think it's because you don't know any other way, Taurus. It feels like this is always the way it goes, Elsie. I do not trust it. Tell me what else is coming up. We have the Chariot. We have the Page of Swords, and we have the Six of Wands. The reason you don't trust it is because you are just finally climbing out of the pit of the dark night of the soul. It's almost like you've been in the darkness for so long that you're still not sure if there actually is light. And I feel like this Six of Wands is telling me there is a light at the end of the tunnel. It does feel like that you will be raised up. It feels like the sun will be shining on you, but I don't think that you are confident about that because you've lived in the darkness for so long. I feel like you have been working on trying to be curious about emotional things while keeping your emotions in check, disciplining your emotions, trying not to move forward and run at things. You might have a fire placement. It feels like somebody here is used to making the decision, running at the thing, and then going, oh, maybe I should have observed it from a distance first. So I feel like you are coming out of some sort of a dark energy or a dark place. And what I mean by that is everything was going wrong. And that does account for Uranus that was terrorizing your life for 8 years and making you change over and over and over again. It's almost like when the... Yeah, I just saw Glinda, the good witch, come down and say, it's okay. You can come out. Everything's all right. You can come out. And I don't think you believe it. You're like, yeah, right? Sure, Glinda. I'm sure everything's fine. What if a house falls on me next? We've got the Ten of Cups in the reverse. I think that you have suffered a lot of emotional disappointment. It feels like I thought it was going to be one way and it was another, and I don't have any evidence that is telling me that it's going to get much better than it is. So I'm just going to keep my discipline with my emotions. I'm not going to get my hopes up. It feels like when you do finally crawl out of the pit of the dark night of the soul, I think that you will see that there are people standing around you, cheering you on, really wanting you to get your victory, but you are being cautiously optimistic. It feels like you are curious, so I think you're going to stick your head out the door, but it feels like, it's like a disillusionment about hope or happiness is what it feels like. It feels like you're still, even though the hardest part is over, you still feel like a house could fall on you at any minute. It feels like I'm not really sure. Everyone out here is telling me, come on out, it's okay, it's fine. But you're not really sure if it is. Tell me about the outcome. We've got the Eight of Cups here. It feels like you have become disconnected from your emotions. It feels like I'm disconnected from hope. I'm not going to hope for that anymore. I'm just going to carry on. Go look for the Two of Cups, possibly. It feels like somebody here is disconnecting from this emotional thing. This emotional plan that I had in the past just didn't work out. You're at the crossroads here, Taurus. Why is that? The Death card is here. Okay. Taurus, I really feel like there is something here. It feels like a pain or a hurt from a relationship or a family member, somebody who is really close to you, really hurt you bad. It feels like it happened in the middle of you being in the dark night of the soul, so it was amplified. It feels like this Death card is here. You are tippy-toeing around transformation. I don't think you want to change. You're like, I'm fine the way I am. Why do I have to change? Well, without change, there's no progress, friend. I feel like in order for you to leave the crossroads and actually put your plan into place, you're going to need to disconnect from that plan and give it over to the universe and say, look, what's next? The universe is going to say, you've got to change the way you look at things. You've got to stop looking at things like there is no hope, as though it is a fact. But Taurus, that's the way you are. It's like you'll take a thing that you know about you and make it a fact. The other day there was somebody that was hammering on the Gemini energy in the comments, and I would say, It feels like that. It feels like you make a decision about something and then for you it's fact. I'm going to say that transformation is here to show you that it's not fact, that things can change. But you, I feel, are going to go kicking and screaming because it feels like you had a plan and the plan is about to change, and I don't think you're happy about that. It feels like it gives no hope. Yeah, there's just one more thing. One more thing I manifested here that is not going to come to fruition. Tell me what's around the corner. We've got the Tower. So the universe says, look, you're changing, whether you want to change or not, because if you don't change, you stay stuck here in the Tower as it falls and everything that falls with it. You've built an illusion. You are going the wrong way. That's not the way you were supposed to go. It's time for you to change, which means I don't think that you're ready to let go of whatever hurt you in the past. It could be an old relationship, could be an ex, it could be something, a job. Somebody could have done you wrong and you're not ready to hold to let go of the hold it has on you. But the Tower being here with the Empress in the reverse, and we have the High Priestess here, I feel like it's your intuition is telling you to let go of it. It really does feel like somebody really hurt you in a relationship. Because the Empress is in the reverse, this person is somebody, whether they're the feminine or the masculine, man or a woman, I keep telling you all, right? This person is somebody who looked great on the outside. They were very enticing and they looked great on the outside. But when you got really close up, you realized that this person had children, but they were a terrible parent. This person said, I will take care of whatever I will take care of, and never showed up. This person is somebody who is very much hard on you in terms of the way they speak to you. Really rude, terrible, no respect. It feels like the Tower is here to help you let go of all of that while you're fighting the Death card and saying, no, I don't want to change. The Death card, the Devil card is here attached to the Ten of Swords in the reverse. It's time for you to let go of all of that and leave it behind. I think your intuition agrees. I feel like you're kind of suffering in silence is what it feels like here. We've got the Hanged Man. So I feel like you're not in favor of change unless you're the one that makes the change. And this Hanged Man energy tells me that your life has been in a pause because you won't change. So I feel like once you get your perspective, you'll think about changing. I don't know that you're going to get a chance to do that because I feel like the universe is about to do its own thing, make you pull away, make you move forward. But look, it's coming here to a place of victory. You're going to be out in the sun. I just think that you've been in the dark for so long that you start to question whether or not there is a sun. We've got the Nine of Cups. Look, you're going to end up in alignment with self. And I know that you're overthinking it right now, but look, there's the sun. So you are about to have a breakthrough, friend. You're about to have something revealed to you that it was you that was holding yourself back here. We do have the Page of Cups. Because you don't like to be surprised. You don't want someone to tell you what to do. You'd rather make the decision to do it yourself. I feel like you've been questioning whether you're in alignment or not, and I think that you are. And I think once you finally climb out of the dark hole here of the dark night of the soul, and you see this Six of Wands, which is your victory, I feel like you will forgive the universe for dropping another tower. It feels like it's to disconnect you from something you've been stuck at because the Two of Wands is here. It feels like you have a plan that is no longer, this is an outdated plan. This plan isn't going to work going forward because you're supposed to get the victory, and this plan is just outdated, it seems. So it's time to walk away from that plan and close the door so you can move forward here, my friend. And I know you don't like to be told what to do because neither do I. So my apologies. Sorry, not sorry. All right. We've got Aquarius energy. We've got Pisces, Leo, and more Pisces. More Pisces. We've got Libra. We've got Taurus and Libra. Scorpio a couple of times. We've got Aquarius energy and Capricorn. Sagittarius. We've got Aries and more Piscean energy, friend. Wish fulfillment's coming, but you got to let go of whatever is, whatever you're hanging on to here, whether it's bad thought process or bad feelings or thoughts about something. Feels like you've got to let it go. All right. Tell me about Gemini. How are you, Gemmies? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Gemini, please. In the next 7 days, tell me all about Gemini. I hope you had a beautiful birthday season, friend. Let's find out what's going on with Gemini. Tell me about Gemini for the next 7 days. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. We've got the Page of Pentacles. We've got the Knight of Wands. We've got the Knight of Cups. And we've got the Four of Cups. Look, I feel like something is about to change pretty quickly. I'm going to say be brave. We have a couple of knights here. Bravery in emotions and brave to move forward. It feels like I look at this Page of Pentacles and it makes me feel like there is a messenger that might be showing up with an opportunity. This could be an emotional opportunity, something that is heartfelt. Feels like that with the Knight. But it could also be something that what you thought in your mind, when it shows up, I'm just going to reject it. It's not for me. It feels like there's 5 cups here. It feels like it makes you sad to have to do that, but I think you may reject it as it shows up. I feel like you feel rejected emotionally. It does feel like something unstable is moving at you really quickly. It feels like it could be emotional or romantic. It could be feelings. It feels like a messenger is about to show up in the 3D. So if this person knows where you live, they might just show up at your door. Maybe I'm talking about a messenger. Maybe you get some sort of delivery you're not expecting. It might take you off balance for a little bit. Tell me about this Page of Pentacles. We've got the Page of Swords. We've got the 3 of Wands. And we've got the 10 of Wands. It does feel like this is something that is going to weigh heavy on you in the future. I feel like whatever this is that's showing up, it feels like an opportunity, maybe a message or a little bit of a gift, maybe a small trinket. It does feel like it's coming from someone who intends to get your attention. It is going to weigh heavy on you, and although I feel that you are curious when it shows up, however way it shows up for you, it feels like you are curious, which means if it shows up as a gift or as a package you didn't order or a contract or a piece of mail or something like that, it feels like it shows up in the 3D. So it feels like it's brought to you by somebody, the mail carrier or whatever, but I don't think you're expecting it, so it's not something that you have ordered. I think that this thing is going to make you feel emotional. It reminds you of something that you've been carrying around for a while. We've got the Knight, third Knight. We've got the 7 of Swords, and we've got the Hierophant. It does feel like it's an old commitment. An old commitment. I don't think it makes you feel very good when it shows up. It almost feels like if you were let go from a job, it feels like it's the final paperwork. Or if you're a person who is separated, not yet divorced, it feels like that kind of paperwork. It feels like something that you were committed to. Somebody might have lied to you about the type of commitment, and it feels as though it's a harsh reality that shows up here. The harsh reality shows up. It reminds you of some sort of rejection, emotional rejection, and I feel it's because you were ready to commit to something or stand on business, but I don't think you understood or saw all the fine print in the contract, because we are looking at the Knight who will push you to do it quickly, and now we're looking over the paperwork, and now it's weighing heavy on me. It almost feels like you're regretting making some sort of a decision in the past. We've got the 6 of Wands. The 6 of Wands tells me it's under the spotlight and everybody knows about it. So this does feel like this is maybe a layoff and you got the final paperwork. It does feel like it could be a marriage, something you committed to. It could be a contract you committed to. Somebody reneged on the contract. It feels like somebody lied to you. You feel betrayed or lied to, and now you're up in your head because this thing is showing back up again. Whether it feels like it does show up in the 3D. So somebody gives you the paperwork. Maybe you're getting served. It feels like something like that. Tell me what the outcome is here. We've got the 6 of Cups, flipped here. The 5 of Wands. And the King of Cups. You're not expecting it. I feel like this is something that has been going on as a battle, or you've been battling the thought process about it. It feels like there is nostalgia here that we're dealing with. So I think that whoever this is coming from, you know them. You worked for them. You were their friend. You are somebody who was committed to them. You were committed to the workplace. Or it feels like definitely maybe a corporation you were committed to. It feels like there is, when it shows up again, it brings up old feelings, deep feelings about how you felt about the situation while it was happening, while it was falling apart, while you were feeling rejected emotionally or mentally. Tell me what's around the corner. It feels like you're still carrying with you every word that was said. And now this is like throwing you back into rehashing it all. We've got the 9 of Cups in the reverse. We've got the Queen of Cups, and we've got the Lovers in reverse. It does feel like it's something is showing up just to rub salt in the wound. It does feel like it's paperwork, a contract. You didn't look at the fine print. We've got the 9 of Cups in the reverse, which is disillusionment for me. This is like, I thought this was my wish fulfillment. It looked like it was. I feel like you were the one that handed out the compassion, the kindness, the deep emotion for it. We've got the King and the Queen of Cups here. Possibly there was a connection that went topsy-turvy here because I thought that this was my soulmate, but now I'm battling myself about the deep emotions that I still have. So I'm going to say you still feel deeply about this person or this situation or the corporation or whatever this has to do with here. And it feels like there is, I feel like you will prevail for whatever the situation is, but it feels like right now you're dealing in a lot of emotions, deep emotions, like muddy water. The Empress is here. You could be served by the Empress, but I feel like the Empress is really indicating abundance, standing on your own 2 feet, opening a new cycle. I feel like you just need to get through this crap before you can do that. So I feel like the Empress is telling me that you will prevail, Gemini, but it also tells me there's still a bunch of stuff that you've got to go through before you do prevail. Yes, something is coming back around, you see. To me, the 8 of Cups in the reverse is the boomerang. It's like somebody left, and now all of a sudden it's showing up again. And I don't think the person is showing up again, but I feel like the paperwork is. Feels like it's not yet finished. This commitment is not yet over. Yeah, there's still decisions to be made. Some of them could be financial decisions or decisions that need to be made carefully. We've got Libra and Taurus. We've got Gemini. We've got more Taurus energy and Leo. We've got I would say Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini, Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer. We've got Sagittarian energy. We've got Aries and Libra energy. Pisces as well, if I haven't said. All right, let's get to you, Cancer. Cancer, happy birthday. How are you, friends? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. I just put out your monthly read, by the way. If you haven't seen that yet, go take a looky-loo. Let's find out what's going on for Cancer. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter over the next 7 days. Tell me about Cancer. My little deeply emotional, cynical friends. Look, we've got Mercury retrograde happening in your sign. We are in the pre-shadow phase, and retrograde comes up on the 29th, my friend. It's all about emotional reflection. Tell me more about Cancer. We've got the Ace of Pentacles. We've got the Swords. We've got the King of Swords. If you are about to invest in something financially, your time, your efforts, your energy, maybe you're volunteering, if you're planning on buying something or making a really big investment or even a small one that you think might grow, please look over the details. Hire a lawyer. This is something that we usually tell you during Mercury retrograde, because Mercury is what goes on in the mind, right? And you might be making emotional decisions based on stuff that you don't really have details for. If you're a person who doesn't have an eye for detail or usually deals with things and emotions, please talk to a lawyer, a judge, a magistrate, get somebody's eyes on it who is detached emotionally from the situation. I'm just trying to protect your pentacles here. It feels like it could be something that might be arising from the past. You can see that this little fox here is showing up looking into the past, is also looking at the King of Swords. So I'm going to say that maybe something is transforming. It could be your finances, but it also could be that something is over financially, and you may need somebody else here who is a third party or an impartial party to help you decide what to do next. The Seven of Pentacles shows up to say that you've put a lot of hard work into this, and you did it in order to transform or make a really big change financially here. It does feel like you've put a lot of time, effort, energy, or work into something. It feels as though you were very intentional with where you were putting this money or time or effort. We've got the Three of Swords. So this is why I think that you really do need somebody who is detached, a third party outside of the situation, to look at the situation. This is a third party card, but because we're looking at pentacles, I'm not talking about romance. I'm talking about money, time, effort, energy, health. It feels like you need somebody else to look at this impartially. Because if you're looking at this through the retrograde eyes, and it is in your sign, this could end up bringing up nostalgia or old memories of something in the past here. And it may cloud your thought process. Tell me more. We've got the Ace of Wands. We've got the Queen of Pentacles. And we've got the Hanged Man. Please don't make any quick decisions about anything financial. 7, 8, 9. It's something you've built by yourself. You could take a pretty good impact in something you've worked really hard at if you don't have a third party looking at the contract, the situation, the job, the whatever is being offered to you, or whatever someone is asking of you to invest in. We've got the Hanged Man energy, and that should tell you something, that it's time for you to slow down, Queen of Pentacles, really look at it with perspective, because there is going to be a sacrifice here. It feels like you're going to, if you go at it too quickly and you pay no attention to the Queen of Pentacles, who is the CEO of the Zodiac, the one who plans really slowly and carefully, I feel like you need to have a perspective of your finances or a perspective of your stability. Please don't move too quickly. There is a really exciting opportunity that I feel is showing up here, and it might just cloud your mind, right? It feels like it's passionate, fun, exciting. It may even be, do you want to buy this boat, or do you want to go travel? Let's go on a cruise. It feels like something that's quite enticing with the Ace of Wands here. We've got the Seven of Swords. There's something here you really don't see. 7 and 3 is 10. It feels like there could be betrayal here if you move too quickly. Now, the King of Wands does have wisdom. There's 2 wands here. It feels like you might already have a plan for all the things I'm telling you about here. And it feels as though with the Ace of Cups here, it tells me fish and water are money to me. I'm trained from the Lenormand deck, and it feels like it has to do with something that is going to make you heart happy, something that you've really always wanted with the Ace of Cups, or it could be something financial. But I'm really worried that there's something that is being concealed from you, or somebody's not telling you the whole truth. They may not be lying, but I feel like somebody here is not telling you the whole truth. What they're hoping is that you'll just react, and you'll react out of emotion, and that's the way they're going to get what they want from you. We've got the Lovers. So it could be about a choice that you're making. It could be about a relationship. If it's about a relationship, I'm going to say hold back, slow down, get more information, look over things. Look, you've made a life of a business, or you have a great reputation. We've got 9 pentacles here. You've got a great reputation. You've got great confidence. You look good. You smell good. It feels like you've really done a lot of work on yourself and your pentacle world. And it feels like you're about to make a choice. And somebody here is hoping you'll make it quickly, so as you don't really see what might be under the surface. But I can't help but recognize that the 3 and the 7 of Swords are here. And that although though this person's trying to present you with balance, it feels like you need more clarity about the situation, or you could get taken advantage of and betrayed. So it's a warning, I feel, to not really do anything unless you have a second set of eyes. Don't agree to anything financially, or if somebody wants your time. Look, maybe you're a mechanic and they want you to fix their car and they end up not paying you. It feels like somebody here is not telling you the whole story. Tell me what the outcome is for Cancer. We've got Temperance. And Temperance is, if it doesn't feel right, don't do it. If this situation brings you into high highs and low lows, please don't do it. If you feel like you are not necessarily confident, Temperance is a feeling of it's going to be fine. I know what I'm doing. If you have that feeling, go for it, friend. We've got the Devil here. Oh boy. So we have three major arcana. We got 4, we got 5. I feel like something here is going to be, it will majorly make a change in your life, or it will shift something, but you will be carrying this around forever. The Devil tells me there's an attachment to the world, that even though you try and close the door to this, it stays attached to you. So please make sure that you are mindful of Temperance, which is a moment of alchemy, that you have this Zen feeling of, I know what I'm doing, it's going to be fine, I have all of the protections in place. It feels like this is something that's really exciting, or really is exciting you. The 5 of Cups is here though. It feels like if you don't make a decision as the King of Wands would, which is through wisdom, that just making a quick decision could make you regret that you did. Tell me what's around the corner. We've got the 10 of Wands, we've got the 6 of Pentacles, and we've got the Knight of Pentacles. It feels as though someone is hoping that they can talk you into making a decision quicker than you usually would. Cancer, you know it and I know it. You are the Taurus of the water signs. You really don't do anything quickly unless you have a lot of fire in your chart. Look, I'm a Taurus, but I have a lot of fire in my chart. So I tend to run at things until I really started paying attention to my Taurian energy. It feels like somebody here is trying to talk you into something that is long term. It feels like it's going to be a long journey. So as I said, even after the door closes, it ends up being attached to you. And it feels like it's a financial investment that you'll be carrying around for a really long time. We have the Page of Pentacles. It feels like it could be a child who wants you to co-sign on a loan. Doesn't have to be a child. It could be someone who's an adult but is quite immature with how they treat their money. It feels like the debt is going to be yours, whatever it is. The deficit, the debt, the lingering feeling of I shouldn't have done that. It feels like you would be doing it for someone that you love, someone that you're dating, someone that you really are connected with. Hold back, friend. Hold back until you have somebody look it over with you and realize what the sacrifices are. If things don't work out the way that you want them to, then what are the consequences? We do have Virgo and Taurus, Gemini. We have Leo, Sagittarius, Aries. We have Aquarius and Libra, Sagittarius and Taurus. Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, please take your time to make that decision. Capricorn, Sagittarius, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Pisces, Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini. Someone who is not attached emotionally to the situation should be the person who advises you about what to do next. All right, Leo, let's figure it out. Look, this is going to be your summer, my friend. It's going to be your year. This expression and expansion, Jupiter showing up in Leo, is good news for you and good news for me, because we are fire families. I'm a Jupiter Leo, and if you are somebody who also has, Leo, whether it's in your sun, moon, rising, or Jupiter, this is going to be a good time for you to get out there, be seen, go viral, that kind of thing. Tell me more about Leo. All right. Well, there you go. You're being called by the universe here. Why is that? Tell me about the Judgment card. We've got the Three of Swords. Oh boy, there's some big energy here. What's going on with you, friend? Okay, so it feels like an opportunity is coming. And I think you need to be really honest with yourself as to whether this is a good opportunity or a bad opportunity. The Judgment card is here, and it tells me that this opportunity has showed up before. This could be a thought pattern. We do have swords here. This could be a thought pattern that you've had that is showing up again. It feels like you really do want to move forward to something, only because you want to get out of the chaos of your life. Now, I'm going to say be careful, because maybe you're dealing with chaos in your life, and you're looking for something to divert your attention from the chaos. Six of Swords. So we do have this Judgment here. It feels like something is shifting. Something is going to surprise you mentally. It feels like a thought pattern comes back. It resurrects itself. A thought pattern comes back, and it makes you relive it or be really honest with yourself about how you dealt with it at the time it was happening here. Got the Queen of Swords energy. It feels like it was an offer. An offer was given to you back there. Maybe you didn't take it, but I feel like you've been possibly thinking about that offer over and over and over again. And now that some time has passed, you're now being honest with yourself about what that offer means to you now that it didn't mean to you before. We've got the Five of Pentacles. We've got the Hierophant, and we've got the Magician. So I feel like yes, it does feel like there is something here, and I think this is from your point of view, my friend. I feel like somebody gave you an offer and you stood on business. You said no. It feels like with the Hierophant energy, you're like, if you're asking me to answer you in the moment at this second, the answer is no. And I think that you ended up on the outside looking in. When you answered no to something, I feel like, I don't think that it was necessarily that you wanted to answer no. It was that it would cause too much change and you weren't open to the change. I feel like you're open to change, Leo, as long as you create the change. And I feel like you weren't ready to create the change. So I feel like since then, you now understand who the Magician is more. Who you are as the Magician. Who you are as the Magician is someone who had all the skills and the resources to do it at the time, but you're not a person who does anything in the moment, right? You want to think about it, look at it, figure it out. I'm not really sure. And then when you're ready, you will run at it. I feel like there's a thought pattern showing up again, surprisingly, after a period of time has passed. And I feel like you now feel as though if this happened now, you would change your mind and do something different. It feels like now you are feeling on the outside looking in. I think somebody offered you a commitment. It could have been a commitment to a job you weren't intending to stay in, or it could be a commitment with someone else, like with a person. But I feel like these thought patterns keep coming up and reminding you of what you left behind. That's what it feels like, the Five of Pentacles being here. Now, since then, you've realized you're the Magician. I get to create my life the way I want to. But I feel like you were too stubborn to make a decision in the moment. And now you're thinking about it. You are in an energy of perspective and pause. The sun is up in the corner here. I feel like you're having some sort of a realization, but you're just thinking about it here. The Death card is here. You've changed. It feels like you've changed your perspective on something. You've changed your perspective because I feel like you've been learning about yourself, learning about your feelings. Look, this guy is sitting in a huge library, and there is an opportunity he's not looking at with the cup over the head. I'm just saying, it feels to me like you now have changed how you see something. Your perspective of something has changed. And now this keeps coming up and terrorizing you mentally and saying there's disappointment or heartbreak. Maybe you didn't realize at the time that you were breaking somebody's heart or how much this might break your heart. It feels like you rejected somebody, and I feel as though it caused an ending. And I think it was only because they didn't say, hey, can we think about this? Can we think about maybe just seeing each other one-on-one instead of dating other people? It might have been somebody that said, look, I don't want to see anybody else but you. And you're like, whoa, slow down, Tiger. Yeah. Page of Wands. I think there was a spark, an attraction. It feels like you didn't expect it. Yeah, it feels like you didn't expect whatever was happening here. And if you are unsure, you will always say no. No is going to be the first thing out of your mouth. If it's not a yes, it's definitely a no. And I think that you didn't have a chance to think about it. All these books being here, you didn't have a chance to learn about it. Or maybe you've learned more since then. Because I feel like you've spent a lot of time by yourself. I feel like somebody tried to offer you something, a cup, an opportunity, and I feel like you hid your face. You're like, no. I don't think you were ready for it. I think this opportunity is coming back, or your brain is rehashing the moment the tower hit. And I feel like you're surprised that you're still thinking about it after all this time. But I don't think that you are doing much about it at this time. I feel like so much has changed since then. Tell me more. We've got the King of Swords. Okay. We've got the Two of Pentacles. It was a harsh decision made on the spot. Five of Cups, and it caused regret. Caused regret. It caused sadness for somebody and eventual regret for you. I feel like you were unfiltered when you gave the no. Whatever you said, I feel like it was not sugar-coated. And I'm not saying anything bad about that. I'm just saying that I feel like that's how you ended up reacting to it, because the Tower is here. But I feel now, like it felt in the moment that it was chaotic and you didn't expect it. But now I feel like this Judgment card tells me you're wondering, is it really truly gone? Because I think that I just answered the way I did because I didn't expect it. I didn't have enough knowledge. I didn't understand what I was saying yes or no to. And I think now you've had some time to think about it. Tell me what's around the corner. We've got the Emperor. So you really have changed, Leo. You've taken control of parts of your life that may have been out of sorts at the time, because the Three of Swords is here. You may have said no based on how you felt at the time, and possibly you were in a heartbroken situation. Possibly life was blowing apart at the time and you didn't want to bring somebody in on that, but it just showed up as a no. Slow down. And I feel like that's not how you meant to deliver it, but it showed up in the delivery as quite harsh and unfiltered. That's how the decision was made. I feel like you're in this Emperor energy now, though. I feel like you've grown. It feels like you've become in control. You're conquering things. It feels like you've learned some things, right? The Emperor, the only reason the Emperor is on the throne because they have wisdom. This person knows how to run their empire and they've grown in wisdom. So I feel like you've grown in wisdom. Look at this. You've grown financially. You're far more confident. I feel like you've had a glow up on the outside, maybe taking care of some things on the inside as well. And maybe you're thinking about reaching out. Messenger, right? Maybe you're thinking about the offer now. Now it's way different from an Emperor's point of view than it was from any other point of view, possibly from the King of Swords point of view. We do have the Moon energy here. This is Cancer Pisces energy, and I feel like the reason this is all coming up is because the Moon energy is very emotional. And so I feel as though you're feeling this energy of Mercury retrograde already, because Jupiter's in your sign. It's expanding things, a lot of expansion, expression, and Mercury retrograde is here. Did I hear that like Venus was showing up as well? I could be wrong. Look, I'm not an astrologer, but I think this is what's going on here. It feels like old emotional things, you're reflecting on them again. Should I have said that? Is the door still open? I've changed so much. If it was given to me now, I might think differently because I'm more confident. I'm better off financially. Like it feels like you answered something, boom, like that really quickly. And it feels like it's come back and you're thinking about it again. You're thinking about this moment here. We do have the Chariot. Are you going to go after it again? You might want to give the offer here, my friend, because I don't think that you want to feel the Five of Swords anymore. I think there may have been some fundamental differences at the time that you had no control over. And I feel like you're in control of all of it now, and now it's weighing heavy on you. So I feel like you might be feeling as though you might want to reach out to someone about something that's deeply emotional. And it feels like it's because of Mercury retrograde and this emotional reflection energy that we're all going to be going through, but especially you, I think, because I feel like Jupiter is showing up, and so is Venus, and yeah, it's everything, my friend. We've got Cancer energy here, got Cancer and Pisces. We've got Virgo and Scorpio, more Pisces, more Scorpio. We've got Gemini and Aries. We've got Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini, Scorpio, Aries, Taurus. I think that might have been the problem, is just feeling too stuck to be able to say anything. And you ended up on the outside looking in with Taurian energy here. And then we have Virgo, Pisces, and more Cancer energy. All right. Virgo, Earth cousins. What's going on with you, Virgo? Tell me about Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Virgo in the next 7 days. Tell me about Virgo in the next 7 days. We've got the Queen of Pentacles, your energy. We've got the Page of Cups. Oh, I feel like you're about to be surprised. Surprised that you have more time on your hands than you thought. Surprised that there might be some good news coming about your health. It feels like, well, the Queen of Pentacles is always stability financially, but also time, effort, energy, money, health, abundance, essentially. And so something here is about to go right. Some good news is about to arrive, and I think it's going to surprise you a little bit. It might be after a long time after you focusing on yourself here. We've got the Nine of Pentacles. We've got the Knight of Wands. Look, if you are somebody who is a business owner, I feel like the Knight of Wands, Nine of Pentacles is telling me with the Queen of Pentacles that you're going to be getting way more business than usual. It feels like something here is showing up as quite exciting, as good news for you, Virgo. And it feels like it is to do with money, time, effort, energy, your abundance, maybe your home, maybe a job. It feels like something here is coming in quickly that is going to make you feel like, that feels better. I feel more stable. I feel more confident. It feels like the Knight of Wands is bringing some exciting energy, fiery, exciting, something to look forward to, good news. Tell me about the Queen of Pentacles. We've got the Knight of Swords. Feels like information is coming at you quick. We've got the Five of Pentacles, that I think you're expecting bad news. I think that you're expecting to feel in lack, or something didn't work out, or you don't, something has come to an end or concluded, or you don't get the loan. It feels like you're expecting for it to go wrong, and it definitely doesn't. It feels like it goes right. The Eight of Pentacles is here. It could be that it could be the raise or the promotion that you've been expecting. It feels like good news is showing up here, and it has to do with money, time, effort, or energy. 10 Pentacles are here. I'm just saying, it feels like something that is going to be lasting or permanent. Something that is going to prepare you for the future, and it's quite exciting. And at first when it shows up, I don't think you believe it, or it feels a little bit too good to be true because the Knight of Wands is here. But I feel like after going over the details, the Eight of Pentacles, you're like, no, I deserve this. I've worked for it. The news that's coming in is very sharp. It could come in by phone. It's very honest and truthful. Somebody does not beat around the bush. They could say, look, you didn't get that. You didn't get the 5,000, but you got the 20,000. Like for the loan, or you got, you didn't get the house that was cheaper, and unfortunately your mortgage is going to be higher, but you got the bigger house. And maybe that's what you were hoping for. We've got the Ace of Swords. Something is going to be made clear. What's going to be made clear? I feel like all the work you put in was not for nothing. The work you put in wasn't for nothing here. because something here is about to show up that you're going to have clarity on, possibly a contract that you've been waiting for an answer on. We've got the Ten of Swords. You can now release the worry. You can release this feeling of it's not going to work. I'm just going to get hurt. I'm going to get betrayed. You can release that now, because I think that something here is showing up clearly that you can't refute, and it's making you really excited. It's following your plan. 2 Wands here. Something is going to plan. Something that you've planned for, which means it isn't something that is magic, showing up, fairy dust, all that bullshit. It's something that is pentacle-like. You've really worked on it. You made a plan. And I know if you made a plan, Virgo, all the details are there. You've weighed and measured everything. And I feel like something is actually going to plan. We've got the Knight of Pentacles, and it took the longest damn time. But look, I feel like you didn't care when the outcome came. You know what's really interesting? I'm looking at this. It looks like the person that is riding the dragon is looking up at that Ace of Wands, like you're finally at the end of a very long journey. It feels like you didn't care how long it took. You just wanted the outcome to be what you wanted the outcome to be. And the Knight of Pentacles may not get there super quick, Virgo energy, but the Knight of Pentacles is definitely going to always show up. So I feel like whatever work you put in, you're about to see your return on investment. Whatever you've invested in or whatever you are about to invest in, it's good news. It's going to be surprising because I don't think you're expecting it to be good news. Tell me what the outcome is here for Virgo. We've got the Ten of Cups. Wow. We've got the Three of Wands, and we've got the Queen of Swords, a very honest and truthful decision that shows up. This is Libra energy. This is something that's being made right for you. This is something that is becoming stable or harmonious. It's something that's being said in your favor. Somebody is going to liberate you from having to wait any longer with these pentacles. You were waiting, I think, for an answer for something. But in the future, the truth does show up, and it's good. The King of Cups is here, or sorry, the Ten of Cups is here. The truth does show up, and it's carrying the Ten of Cups with it, friend. So something you've wanted is going to be showing up, and it's going to surprise you, because as you're watching this, you're like, you're so full of it. We've got the Eight of Cups. We've got the Knight of Cups. You can now disconnect from the fantasy, my friend. There's no more fantasy. You don't have to dream about this anymore. It's being made in the pentacle world. It's now in the pentacle world. The King of Swords is here. Look, this is the person who makes the final decision, who makes the last decision. The judge, the magistrate, the person who does the hiring, the person who allows the application for the mortgage. This is the person who makes the decision, right? And they're delivering it as is. There's going to be no beating around the bush here. We've got the King of Cups. I feel like you're going to try not to be super excited about it, but I feel like this is going to be so emotionally fulfilling for you, and that's pretty freaking great. I don't think I have done such a great reading for you in a while. Look, you took a risk that is about to pay off, and maybe you're taking a risk in the future that's about to pay off. And if it is a risk for you financially, please get a hold of a lawyer, a judge, a magistrate, somebody who's going to be in your corner and fight for you. But it feels like something here is coming in quickly. Look at that. I was saying Libra is here. Libra is here. So something is being restored, my friend. It might be your faith in someone or something or the system, but something here is about to work out in your favor and become very harmonious and balanced. We've got Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. We've got Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini. Virgo energy. Got more air energy. We have Piscean energy. It feels like you thought that this was just a dream or a fantasy you had. Something here is showing up, and it's going to surprise you. We have more Virgo energy. We've got Taurus, more Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius energy. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, and more Piscean energy. Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries. It's going to be in Leo season. All right. Libra, Let's find out what's going on with you, my friends. Tell me about Libra. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. If you want to know why I'm not looking at you, go back to the beginning. The very beginning. Let's find out, Libra. What's going on for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter in the next 7 days. Tell me about Libra. Tell me about Libra. We have the Queen of Cups. We have the Two of Pentacles. A deeply emotional decision is about to go down. You're about to come to some sort of an accomplishment or a milestone. You might be closing out an old chapter. You could be moving, but it feels like something is coming full circle, and it took a very long time to accomplish it. We've got the Five of Wands. You have battled. You have fought. It feels like there is something that you're able to make a decision about now because there's no more obstacles. I feel like you fought really hard for something, and that is to close the door or bring something full circle or to accomplish something that's very close to your heart or is deeply emotional for you. I feel like you wobbled about it for a long time, didn't know whether it would be this or that, didn't know if I was going to make the decision. We've got the Moon. We've got the Tower. Wow, something is clear. I can see clearly now. The rain is gone. It's like something was cloudy. You couldn't see it. It was really dark. It was ominous. It was like, I'm not sure how this is going to work out. I feel like you're going to be surprised, really surprised at the clearing of the darkness here. That something here you didn't seem as that you could, it feels like something didn't seem as it was. You couldn't see it as it was. But the Tower, I feel, is about to surprise you here. Tell me about the Tower. We've got the Queen of Wands, that it's a go. Something here is a go. Oh, Charlie just said we're cleared for land. It feels like you're landing on something. Maybe you're going on a trip. It feels like you're clear to land, my friend. The Queen of Wands is Sagittarius, Leo, Aries energy. It feels as though you've been wanting to run at something, take a risk. I feel like you are a person who really weighs and measures things, but it feels like you felt that this risk was going to be worth it, but it almost feels like you've been now cleared for landing. The Tower tells me that this is surprising to you because there was a long time there, possibly a whole month. To me, cups are months. Moons are cups in this deck, the Wandering Moon Tarot. It feels like there was possibly a whole month there where it was touch and go and you didn't know if something was going to resolve itself or be resolved, or if you were going to be able to close the door and finally make the decision on something here. We've got the Nine of Wands. Whatever it was, it feels like you were waiting. And I feel like it was like you were tired of waiting. It was burning you out. But look, I feel like now you can finally drop some sort of a burden that you've been carrying. And it feels like it's an emotional burden. So the Nine of Wands and the Queen of Wands carries one, which is 10 Wands. And to me, that's the unburdening of something very deeply emotional. Something's going to surprise you, become clear that wasn't clear at all. Things are not as they seemed. And I feel like you thought that you were going to have to stifle this deeply emotional thing, and I don't think that you are. Look at that, the Nine of Cups is here. Something's working out in your favor. You're just at the end of some sort of cycle. So I'm going to say that in the future here, you are about to close a door where there's no more weight emotionally. You're about to realize the answer to something. So are you like maybe going to tell somebody you like them, or you're going to share how you feel about them emotionally? That's what it feels like when the Queen of Cups is here for me. It feels like deep emotion. The Nine of Wands tells me that you were waiting for the right time, and maybe with the Nine of Cups here, the 9s, the 10s are the end of the cycle. So it feels like now that this this is an unburdening, that the Nine of Cups is here. I feel like if you are going to express your feelings or how you feel about something, doesn't have to be romantic, but it could be, because the emotions are here, you're going to express how you feel about something, and it works out in your favor, because the Nine of Cups here is wish fulfillment. The Wanderer is here. Very cool. The Wanderer is a card that is specific to this deck, the Wandering Moon Tarot. And this card is an indication that you have had a realization that you are here with finite time, that you realize that your connection to the earth isn't just your connection to the earth, it's also a connection to the universe. This person's sitting on the earth looking up at the moon. And so it feels like you've realize that your time here is finite, that eventually you'll have to go back to where you came from, and it feels like somebody here is opening up spiritually. It's like, I might as well do what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this small risk here. I'm going to take a risk and be bold and do it, because I got one life. And when we're in this life, this is the only one we think we have, right? We've got the Chariot in the reverse. It feels to me like you're on the motorcycle revving the engine. I feel like you're about to show off your emotions. I'm going to say that you want to make sure that your emotions are, that they're very disciplined before you move forward to unburden yourself and reveal what you're feeling very emotional about. This is Cancer energy. The Chariot's in the reverse, which tells me that you're not doing it right now. But it feels to me like you were waiting for the right time to do it, because you're having some sort of a realization that's surprising you, that's telling you clearly that it's time for you to make this decision that is very close to your heart. The hard thing about making the decision, I feel, is that it's going to close an old chapter of feeling a little bit of scarcity, like I can never have what I want. Things don't work out for me, Elsie. They just don't work out the way I want them to. But I feel like this thing is. We've got the King of Wands. Look, we've got the King and the Queen of Wands. I feel like if we are talking about a relationship, which I think that we are, that you might be revealing how you feel about someone, that I feel like this person feels the same. I feel like there is an attraction here that has been under the surface that we have not been talking about, that you've been thinking about, and I feel like you're about to reveal it here. We've got the Three of Wands in the future. It feels like you're ready for an adventure. You're ready to expand your future. And we have the Ace of Pentacles, and invest. It's time for you to invest in the 3D. So the Cups mean that you've been thinking about it emotionally. The Swords always mean you've been thinking about it in your mind. And now we have this being made real, 3D, something you can touch, hold. So it feels like in the future you're about to make a decision to share your feelings with someone, about how you feel about them, bringing your feelings to the surface, trying to keep yourself as composed as possible. But you see somebody here as wish fulfillment, and it's time for you to unload this burden that you've been carrying around emotionally. I think you're surprised at how this turns out, because I think it turns out the way you want it to. We've got the Magician. We've got the Page of Pentacles. And we've got the Six of Pentacles. Look, I feel like, this is a Magician. All the cards give me different feelings, but this one looks like if you reach out, that person will reach back. The Magician is you having all the tools that you need. Look, somebody sees you as being very capable. Being very capable. If you reach out to them, they'll reach back. Is that a song? Okay, no, I don't know. The Magician saying that you're the one that creating your reality here. If you decide to give somebody an opportunity, even the small one, that this person is going to reciprocate your energy. Six of Pentacles is here. One more card. We've got the Four of Swords, and everything heals itself. It becomes stable. You become very balanced and stable in the mind, and I think that's what you want, because it feels like something emotional has been rocking you back and forth. And I feel like you've been waiting a long time to give somebody an offer, and when you do, I think it's going to be reciprocal, because look, the Page of Cups is here. It feels like it is something to do with the heart space. It's a surprise, and I feel like you're going to be surprised, friend. The Seven of Pentacles, that this person is willing to grow with you. that they've just been waiting, the Seven of Pentacles. They've been waiting for you to say something. The Six of Cups is in the reverse. They didn't think you were going to say anything, so they didn't say anything. It feels like somebody felt stuck. It feels like you are dealing with somebody here who expects you to give the offer so they can say yes. But somebody here felt stuck in the nostalgia of it all, thinking like, okay, well, I guess Libra's not going to ask, so I guess I'll just carry on from here. Somebody here who is not going to chase you, but wants you to pursue them. We've got Libra energy. We've got Cancer, Taurus energy. We've got Pisces and Sagittarius, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo. This took you forever to do, my friend. We've got Libra and Aries. We've got the moon. Look, this might be coming up, right? The Cancer is ruled by the moon. And we are in Cancer season and we are in retrograde. So it feels like, you know, this retrograde is going to be emotionally reflective. And so that might be why the Six of Cups showed up in reverse. We've got Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer. And Capricorn, get yourself organized, friend, because I feel like if you give the opportunity, it shall be taken. Tell me about Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter signs for the next 7 days. Scorpio. If you want to know why I'm not looking at you, go to the very beginning. You'll know. It's not because I don't want to look at you today. Tell me about Scorpio. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter, Scorpio. We've got the Ace of Swords is in the reverse. Why is that? It's very curious. Well, the Six of Swords is here. I'm not clear whether I should move forward or not. I'm not clear whether something's moving or whether I should move it forward. The Nine of Pentacles is here. And the Queen of Cups is here. Scorpio, it does feel like you're unclear as to whether you should move forward or not. You have not come to the clarity of whether you should do that. It feels like something here is already in motion, but it also feels like you're the one that needs to gather the confidence to express some sort of emotion. I feel like somebody has their back to you. And what I mean by that is I don't think they've turned their back on you, but it feels like there is somebody here who is very independent. It feels like they're independent financially, they're independent in life. It feels like this person really doesn't require the external validation of anyone. This is someone who I feel is very compassionate and kind and loving. I feel like you're treading carefully. I feel like you are inching toward this person slowly. I think they kind of make you feel a little bit nervous. Seven of Swords is here because it feels as though you're, I'm not saying this literally, but it feels like you're slowly making steps to sneak up on somebody. It feels here. And this person is just enjoying themselves. I feel like that they are just being their kind, compassionate, loving self. They could be someone who's a mother or a father. I feel like you're unclear on whether this person wants you to approach or not. Tell me about the Ace of Swords in the reverse. We've got the Six of Cups. You feel connected to someone here, or you've known them for a while. We've got the Ten of Swords. And we got the Ten of Cups. Did you emotionally hurt someone? Do you feel like you did? Because it feels like with the Ten of Swords here, it feels like emotional betrayal. I think you're connected to somebody here. It feels like you're connected to them through a soul tribe or somebody that you've known for a while. It could be someone you've known last life or someone that you've known for all of your life, but it doesn't have to be. The Ten of Swords is here, but it does tell me that there has been an emotional betrayal here and that you're unclear about whether this person is really even interested or not. The Ten of Cups is here. I think that you see yourself with this person in the future. It feels like a dreamy or fantasy-like or daydreamy sort of thing. But I feel like the obstacle at this time is you're unclear as to whether somebody feels betrayed or not. I could be talking about you. Maybe somebody here is sneaking up on you and you don't see it because your back is turned, minding your business, doing your thing. We've got the 9 of Swords, we've got the 8 of Cups, and we've got the Devil. Someone feels like they should not have detached. The reason that they detached, and look, I'm really unclear whether I'm talking about you or somebody else, so you can take it as it resonates. It's not for me to figure out, that is for you to figure out. There's something here that's unclear. It feels as though somebody here feels as though they shouldn't have walked away because now that's all they think about. All they think about is how they dealt with the situation, so detached. I always say, you're deep as the ocean, cold as the lamppost, friend, and I feel like you gave him the lamppost. I feel like you're worried about how somebody feels about you dealing with a situation that was very detached, but listen, I feel like you're still attached to the situation, and it feels like a mental loop. It feels like a mental loop. I turned my back. Should I have turned my back? I detached. Was I really detached? Like, I feel like you don't know if you've hurt this person or not. I don't know that the 10 of Swords is finite. Like, I don't know if it really happened or not because there's a lot of fantasy, dreamy kind of energy around the 10 of Swords. So it feels like every time you think about it, maybe you feel betrayed, or maybe you're wondering if you really hurt someone, if it's beyond repair. Because there's something here that makes you feel like you're unclear. So you worry about whether or not this is coming back together, or if I decide to approach this person, 6 of Swords going towards the 9 of Pentacles, will they put up their boundaries? Will somebody here say, no, thank you? Will they just stand up and say, I'm not interested? Will I get rejected? Will they keep me behind the boundaries? I feel as though you are trying to protect your energy. I just think that you just want to get out of this loop. It feels like you can't stop thinking about, it feels like you're unclear on something here. You're unclear on something. And it worries you. Yeah, and the moon doesn't make it any clearer, does it? Thanks for nothing. The moon doesn't make it any clearer. It almost feels like, could it have been? Maybe I read it wrong. Maybe it feels like a maybe. What is this? King of Cups. That's you. And the 4 of Swords. It does feel like there is something that remained under the surface. It feels like you were very stoic with someone, and now you're unsure about whether this person is clear about the situation or whether you're clear about the situation. You clearly knew how you felt, but I don't think you knew that you were coming off as a bit cold. Tell me what the outcome is, please, for Scorpio. We've got the 7 of Swords. We've got the 7 of Pentacles. And we've got the Temperance card. I'm saying because I don't know what to tell you about the 7 of Swords. Can I trust it? Can I not? It feels like something is under the surface. I'm not sure if I can trust it. Should I wait? Is this the right time? Is this the moment of alchemy? I would say that if you're unsure, it's not the moment of alchemy. The moment of alchemy comes when you are calm, when you feel healed, when you are not experiencing high highs and low lows about the situation, when you feel like, okay, now I'm ready. So I'm going to say wait. Because there's still some things that might be revealed to you here because the 7 of Swords is here. I feel like you're not really clear on what to do next. So I feel like that's why you're holding back or waiting. I think that you want to put the work in, but you're not really sure if this other person is open to it or not. We've got the 2 of Pentacles, the Page of Swords, and the Ace of Cups. So you're just going to continue to observe from a distance. Try and get your balance. Decide whether you want to make the decision or not. The Ace of Cups is here. I feel like you are observing someone's heart space, or you're observing how someone is emotionally. You're observing them from the distance. Are they emotionally stable? is somebody here very stable in their emotions since all of this went down? You know how sometimes people will get angry who can't control their outbursts, and they'll start posting, you know, stuff that has got a lot of ambiguity online, hoping the other person sees it and all that immature bullshit. I think that you're looking at someone from a distance or observing to see if any of that's going on. And I don't think you see any, and that's why you're sort of battling the self. I think you're curious. You're curious about the heart space, but you haven't quite made a decision. It feels like you're battling your emotions. You're battling making a decision. It feels like you're trying to hold yourself back, if I'm being honest. Look, the victory is here, friend. There is a victory here, but it's after the fight, after the war. This is the fight. Oh, that's why. There we go. We've got an Empress here. So it feels like you do want to speak to the Empress. You might even want to approach the Empress. It feels like you're very attracted to the Empress, and you might want to give this person an opportunity to maybe an invitation, right? The Page of Coins is the messenger in the 3D. When you see this person face to face, you may give them an opportunity and say, look, here's this invitation. Do you want to come here with me? Do you want to go out? Do you want to have some drinks? Do you want to be social? I think that's what you're thinking right now, and I think that you want to run out there and do it with these two brave knights here. But I feel like you don't want this person to think that you're approaching in fire. You don't want this person to think that this is temporary, because I feel like you really want to have a good conversation. But I think that it's something that you're just going to blurt out eventually. Eventually, when the moment of alchemy shows up. Got Libra, Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, Pisces, Sagittarius, and Capricorn. More Pisces energy and some Aries. We've got Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer again, of course. Oh, did we have both? Hang on. Yep, we did. The Queen and the King of Cups. So I feel like you two feel the same way about each other. You may still feel connected to this person because you're psychic. They might have a little bit of psychic energy. We've got Virgo and Pisces and Aquarius and more Aquarius, Sagittarius, and Virgo energy. We've got Scorpio. Yeah, we got Aquarius, Sagittarius. No, sorry, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. And we've got Libra and Taurus at the bottom of the deck. All right, Sagittarius, fire family. Let's find out what's going on for you, friends. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me all about my Saggy fam. Tell me about my Sagittarius family. In this almost retrograde period, we are in the pre-shadow retrograde in Cancer. Mercury is retrograde in Cancer. Soon we'll be in full retrograde. Tell me about Sagittarius, please. We've got the Knight of Pentacles. We've got the Five of Wands. You began a journey, and probably because you were in a battle with money, or in a battle with yourself, or a battle with time, effort, energy. Tell me more. Something is being made clear. You're at the end of a long battle, friend. This is your healing time now. I feel like this is the end of a long mental battle. I'm going to say that you're not the same place now that you were when this battle began. That although this Five of Swords is here, I feel like you've managed to heal the Ace of Swords. It feels as though that there is it feels like a long-term mental battle, I'm going to say. And this is the battle within. So it feels like an internal mental battle that you've been in for a very long time. You've been trying to keep things straight. You've been trying to figure out why you're here. Why are you in this battle? Seven of Wands is here. We've got the Page of Cups. And we've got the Four of Wands in the reverse. I feel like the whole purpose of this long internal battle that you've been enduring here is to teach you to stand up for yourself and for you to have some personal boundaries. I'm going to say that it feels like you're stuck. You feel as though you are stuck, that you can't seem to find the next level of your life. Feels like somebody here feels as though, okay, well, I've learned about putting up the boundaries. It feels as though, I don't think that you're without your opportunity, understand. I feel like the emotional opportunities keep coming at you, but I don't think you have found a candidate that matches whatever is on your checklist. We've got the Four of Wands in the reverse. You haven't found anybody that you're ready to go to the next level with. And I don't think that you're without your opportunities, but I feel as though your boundaries are so tight, which I agree with. I really am a fan of boundaries. It feels like you're wandering around in the yard here, and people keep coming to the property line, but I think you keep turning them away. I'm going to say that maybe you're still sort of battling this long-term mental thing here. I don't know that I think you want to be ready for a new connection, but I can't say that you are. Nothing here says that you're ready for a new connection. I think that you see them, but you don't see anything that's really bringing you any sort of stability here. I feel like you spend a lot of time probably meditating. I feel like you're very engaged with yourself, looking over the details of you and making sure that you have enough light for you. You're in this healing phase. It feels like you're just maybe coming out of this dark night of the soul energy where you're beginning to have epiphanies and realizing that you've been in some sort of really long battle with yourself, and that the cure to the battle with the self is the boundaries. I'm telling you, when you make promises to yourself that you're not just going to let anybody into the yard, most people deserve to be able to wander about on the property line, but it feels here that you are, now that you have engaged in all of this healing by yourself, that nobody matches your list of criteria. Yeah, and I don't think your list of criteria is too high. Please understand. I feel like you now have boundaries. So you're not just letting anybody into the yard. You're like, no, I've seen you before. You look good from a distance, but then when you get in, you crash and burn my life. It feels like you are making very big decisions. I just saw the Ten of Swords on the bottom of the deck as I said, crash my life. I don't think you want to be hurt again. So you're being very careful. Hermit energy is Virgo. Virgo goes over the details, is very careful. We've got the Hanged Man. Yeah, now you have a perspective you didn't have before your dark night of the soul energy. Look, I feel like everything here is moving as it should. So I'm going to say be patient, because the Knight of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles, when you first start on the journey, you know what you want. Maybe you wanted the relationship. Maybe you wanted the marriage. Maybe there's many things that you wanted. But because the journey takes so long with the Knight of Pentacles, it changes your perspective, because the Hanged Man is here. When you're on this long, long journey of self, it changes your perspective, because now you have this energy about you that you know your worth, right? And you're not willing to change, but you are willing to expand. Change is here, but you are willing to change your perspective. I think you have changed your perspective since you've been through this dark night of the soul, and you've realized that life is expanding, and that a new cycle is about to begin here, because we've got card number 10. So when the wheel shows up and Jupiter is in town, right? Jupiter is now sliding into the DMs of Leo and its expression and expansion. So I feel like your perspective on what is owed to you as someone who knows their worth has drastically changed. That's what it feels like. Yeah, and you're keeping all that under wraps. I feel like you have realized now that you can't believe everything that you see, because if you see it and it looks good, you don't really know if there's more than one marble rolling around on the inside. You have no idea what the purpose of somebody's approach is. And so I think now that you're allowing them to come up to the boundary so you can look them over and decide if this is what you want or not. But I'm going to say that you are spoiled for choice. It feels like this Page of Cups tells me I'm being pursued a lot, but I'm not interested in the kinds of people who are pursuing me. Tell me about the outcome here, Sagittarius. We have the Six of Cups. You're looking for a straight up soulmate. Somebody that I feel like I can trust to let into the yard. Somebody that I feel like I've known before. It feels like you want to be able to feel comfortable, nostalgic, which means if you go back to your childhood, what made you feel the most comfortable and safe? That's what you want from a partner. And I feel like until that shows up, you're okay to be by yourself. We've got the Two of Cups. Yep. And we have the Nine of Pentacles. See, you've grown, and I feel like you've become far more confident, and you're like, if whatever I want doesn't show up, I'm good to be by myself. I'm good to carry it all on my own for now. I feel like what you are looking for is somebody who is strong and confident, somebody who is also successful in their own right, because I feel like you are a successful human. However you measure that is up to you. Some people measure it in money. Some people measure it in time or effort. We all have a different love language. I feel like you are looking for somebody who is a secret sharer, someone who's going to give you reciprocal emotional energy. You're not going to have to beg for it. Somebody who's not detached. We have Eight of Cups here. And somebody who feels like the past. And I don't mean another relationship. I mean like when you were a child and you were feeling your safest or your happiest. What did that feel like? That person's got to bring that kind of energy to you. Or I feel like you're like, no, thank you. You'll cut them out right away. Tell me what's around the corner for Sagittarius. Got the Tower. You're about to meet the one, my friend. Ooh, there's the big dog. The King of Cups, right? So it feels like here that you are about to meet the King of Cups, who is looking for someone they're looking for someone to invest in deeply and emotionally. I feel like you're going to be surprised because it feels like somebody who's emotionally aware, emotionally available, somebody who is able to deep dive with you, someone who is definitely able to share emotionally with you. It feels like somebody here is also looking for a new beginning or looking to invest in someone who has also done a lot of transformation and is looking for someone to heal with. It feels like they're looking for their wish fulfillment as well. So I'm going to say that it does feel like possibly you keep meeting people who you're not interested in inviting back home to meet your parents. But I feel like something here is changing, and what's coming in the future is you are, my friend, going to get some sort of victory because you've been courageous enough not to just take the first damn thing that showed up that looked pretty or looked handsome or some good old thirst trap. I feel like you are really, this is what you're looking at. I'm not going to be hurt by someone. I'm not going to be betrayed. I'm going to look you over really good and make sure I know that you're not toxic, because I don't want any regrets. I want no regrets when I make the next decision. And that tells me that something's coming quickly, but that you're courageous enough to know that you've changed, and so have your tastes and what you want and what you deserve. I feel like we all get what we deserve. And if you're in the Nine of Pentacles, you deserve something great. We've got Aquarius energy and Cancer. We've got Libra and more Aquarius. Sagittarius is here. Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo. This is Jupiter, right? Jupiter is going into Leo soon, if it's not there already. We've got Virgo and Libra, Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, and Aries. More Scorpio. We've got more Cancer energy, Virgo, Leo, more Virgo energy, and Scorpio energy. I feel like I've been reading forever. What the heck? All right, let's keep going. Let's talk about you, Capricorn. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. My Earth cousins. Tell me about Capricorn. Tell me what's coming up for Capricorn. Tell me about Capricorn in the next 7 days. All right, we're flying around. We've got the Lovers, we've got the Two of Pentacles, and we've got the Queen of Cups. You have a decision to make, my friend. It's a choice, but it's a decision nonetheless. How deep do I want to dive? How much emotions am I willing to give up? We've got the Seven of Swords. I think you're making some sort of decision here, my friend. And I think you're making it quietly. You're asking your intuition, do I trust it? Do I trust this emotional decision that I'm about to make about someone that I feel could be a soulmate? I think the question is not, do you have enough compassion, love, or kindness to give? The question is, if I make the decision to give all of that, am I going to get it back? The Seven of Swords is here, which makes me feel like you don't trust the situation emotionally. It feels like it would be easy enough to make the choice or the decision. I feel like you're waiting until your intuition comes online. I think you're going to remain silent about it until then. Yeah, you're going to remain behind the boundary. It feels like you're going to have to become very vulnerable, emotionally vulnerable. And I feel like right now you're hiding feelings under the surface. You're not really, that's very Capricorn line if I've ever said one. It feels like somebody here knows if I get all the way into this, I'm going to have to start showing my softer side. Yesterday I cried. I'm sure, what did she say? You must have been relieved to see the softer side. That's the song by Meredith Brooks called Bitch. And look, I'm not saying you're a bitch. I'm saying that you don't show your emotional self to everybody. You reserve that for people you really trust. Tell me what the Lovers is here for. We've got the Ten of Wands. So it feels like you realize that no matter how good it smells, no matter how good it looks, no matter how beautiful or handsome it is, it could still ultimately become a burden that you carry. We've got the King of Swords. So you've really got to be honest with yourself about whether this is somebody that you want to choose, whether this is somebody that's worth all of your compassion, your love, your kindness. I think someone's asking you to make a decision here. And I feel as though you're trying to be really honest with yourself about whether this is going to end up just in rejection or not. I feel like you just want to have a very clear, honest conversation with somebody. The Four of Cups being here tells me, well, we need to have it out. We need to talk about whether it's worth me coming out of my comfort zone. I think you're just going to be very clear like that. I don't think you're going to sugarcoat it in the delivery. I think you're like, is this really worth it to me? Because I've been in situations like this before where I've given everything and then somebody said they were going to give and they lied to me. And then I ended up carrying all the burden. You know what this makes me feel like? It feels like you're a person who, when you get into the household, you do the cooking, the cleaning, the rearing of the children, the laundry, you do everything. And you always get yourself into a situation where you become the workhorse. And I don't think you're doing that anymore. I feel like you're trying to be very clear and honest with yourself about the details of the situation. You know what you're capable of, but you don't want to get yourself into a situation where somebody's using you for finances, somebody's using you as a workhorse to do all the things that they don't want to do. Do you know what I mean? I feel like you're trying to be really honest with yourself. We've got the Chariot in the reverse. You have not yet made a decision about whether this is worth it or not. Is it worth the emotional effort that I'm going to be putting into it? Will I be getting it back? Because I feel like it's really easy for you to fall into the emotional pothole here. So I feel like you're sort of, this Chariot energy in the reverse is telling me I'm kind of stuck for a decision. I feel like my feelings are on my sleeve, like my heart's on my sleeve with the Six of Cups. And is this a good choice? Is this a good choice for me? We've got the Page of Wands. So I think that you were taking a moment to really look over it, to see if this is really a very emotionally stable situation, or am I taking a risk? It feels like you are, it's very corporate of you. It feels very CEO of you, my friend. What is my return on investment? I really need to know. I need to plan for the future. Oh my gosh. So I feel like the problem is I feel like this Chariot fell off the road into the ditch at one point, and you're looking at the past. It feels like you're really looking over the past, and I feel like the thing is that this person being around really makes you feel like your heart's on your sleeve. They make you feel like a kid again. They make you feel like curious and excited and passionate and all of that stuff. They make you feel like a kid again. You might laugh for hours or talk for hours with this person. They bring the emotions out into you, but also make you put on the brakes like, wait a second. That happened really easily, and that sort of sounds a little fishy to me. We have the Magician. So I feel like you are a person who has stepped into your magician energy. And I want to say that you don't necessarily believe in magic, you believe in hard work. So the Magician is about having all the tools and the resources to be able to create your own environment, right? Create your own life, create your own reality. And although I think you believe in love, I don't think that you thought it would show up like this. Look, I think you're in your butterfly season. I just noticed the butterfly. I feel like you have come out of the cocoon and you are a completely different person. It feels like you are in your butterfly season, but look, she's holding on to a swan. I feel like it's going to be time for you to party, friend. She's wearing a party hat here. Tell me about the outcome. Tell me about the outcome for Capricorn. We've got the Ace of Pentacles. We've got the Five of Pentacles, and we got the Temperance card. This is about the third time that I've been doing readings today that Temperance has showed up as the third card in the outcome. So I feel like the moment of alchemy is coming for a lot of you, where you are going to be making a decision. Because in Temperance, you're no longer wondering what you should do. The Ace of Pentacles is here. Look, I do have the time, the effort, the energy, the money, the resources. I have everything I need to be able to invest. But the Five of Pentacles is here saying, but will they take half? Or will I end up being on the outside looking in? Look, if you're the person who doesn't understand, or you're still wondering whether you should make this decision or not, don't do it. Temperance is a feeling of contentment. It's a feeling of, this is the moment of alchemy. I have everything I need. I know what I'm getting into. I know what the risks are, and I'm okay with all of it. That's what the Temperance card is. It's when you feel even and healed, and it's okay. It's time to move forward. You feel content with moving forward. So if you're not feeling that, then don't move forward. What's around the corner here is the King of Cups, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Ten of Swords. Yeah, I think you're worried about your worth. If this person is going to hold back their feelings or be very stoic or not give you enough emotion, I feel like you're a person who really pours out emotion once you trust somebody. But is this person going to pour out as much as you? Are they going to match your energy? Or is this person going to stay stoic? This is you. Queen of Pentacles is Capricorn, and the Ten of Swords. Am I going to get hurt? Will I end up having to be betrayed? It feels like you're really thinking this over. Judgment is like, are they really misjudging my worth? Are they misjudging how strong I am? I'm the one in control of this situation. It feels like the misjudgment is what worries you the most, that it might be followed up by betrayal or pain. So I feel like a conversation needs to come up, because there's the Knight of Swords. It's like, I really need to be very honest before I make this big, bold move forward here. Yes, I'm resilient, but I don't want to have to be. I've got a lot of opportunities here. This isn't the only love opportunity that you have. So I feel like you're really in a place where you're thinking out what you want to do. I feel like you will come to an answer. There is a breakthrough coming, or something will be revealed to you. That the Nine of Cups is here. That this is your wish fulfillment, quite likely, but there is a breakthrough coming to Temperance, and I think that you will realize what it is that you want to do. Got Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, and Pisces, and Gemini, Virgo, and Pisces. Got Aquarius energy here, Gemini and Aries, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, more Cancer, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, Sagittarius and more Aquarius, Gemini again, Taurus, and Capricorn energy. All right, Aquarius. Tell me about Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Aquarius, please. Tell me about Aquarius for the next 7 days. Tell me about Aquarius. We have the Knight of Pentacles. You've been on a long journey, my friend. We've got the Six of Wands, a long journey to victory here. I feel like you have been on a journey of the soul. It feels like you are It feels, I'm not seeing this as ego really, but I really do believe that as long as we allow ego to ride shotgun and we don't let it drive, that we're okay with that. It feels like it's like you're coming back into yourself, or you're putting yourself out there again after some sort of really long journey where you've been contemplating life. I feel like you're ready again to go charging at something and get what you want. I feel like you're ready for happiness. It feels like you're ready for celebration. You're ready for stability. You might be ready to meet somebody. It definitely does feel like you're ready to go to the next level. I feel like you've been in this cycle or on this journey for a really long time. But I also feel like when we're on this journey with the Knight, that the Knight of Pentacles shows up because somewhere along the way you decided you didn't care what the outcome was. I think what you cared about is the quality of the journey and whatever you would learn along the way. It takes us so long with the Knight of Pentacles that sometimes we change our minds about what the outcome looks like, right? And I feel like for you, what's come to mind, there's a realization here. When the swords are up in the air, it's like I have something to say, and I think you have something to say about the way you look at victory now. To you, I don't think victory is a person, a place, a thing specifically. I feel it's celebration, it's companionship, it's happiness, it's harmony and getting along with people, it's loving people with celebration and stability, inviting people into your home. It feels like you've got a very different outcome or outlook on what the outcome is at this time. We've got the Fool. We've got the Queen of Cups. And we've got the Five of Swords. So I feel like you're at this place in your life that's brand new. I'm going to say that you've never been in this place before, Aquarius. It feels like you're finally in a place in your life where you're not really sure what you want to do at this point. You just know that you need a new path. It feels like you are sort of excited, but a little bit, I'd say a little bit, it's exhilarating and terrifying because you've never been at this place in your life before where you didn't really care about what the outcome was. And I feel like what you just want to be is emotionally content. I think that you're tired of battling yourself emotionally, but I think that's what the Knight of Pentacles was for. I feel like it was about to go over all of the details about why you've been emotionally battling yourself for so long. It feels like you really feel very, very deeply about life, but also the swords take over sometimes, right? That you have fundamental differences about what the depth of emotion is and whether it really needs to play a part on the surface or underneath the surface. Tell me more about Aquarius. We've got the King of Pentacles. We've got the Ace of Swords. And we've got the Ace of Wands. I think you understand now what stability really is. I think you're really understanding who the King of Pentacles is. You might be a person who is feeling like the King of Pentacles. That's someone who is stable and grounded. They have a lot of wisdom. This person is somebody who is a thinker, person who digs up information, the person who sits in front of the TV and watches the show and puts it on pause and says, where was this show filmed? And then you know that it's in Montana, so you start looking up things in Montana. Oh yeah, there's that building. Do you know what I mean? Like, it feels like you're really digging for information to make sure that the information you have is right, practical. This could be about money, time, effort, energy, how you're building your kingdom. It feels like you're having some sort of clarity about what you want your kingdom to look like. You're more excited about this. It feels like the clarity that's come about on this really long journey. You want to settle down. I think you want to buy a house or a home. It feels like you're a person who is a traveler or somebody who travels a lot, possibly. I think that there is, I think that this Knight of Swords is telling me that some sort of realization is coming to you after being on some sort of a long journey. Yeah, in Leo season, possibly. We are in Cancer season, and Leo season comes after Cancer season, but also Jupiter is showing up in Leo soon, if not there already, and that's going to cause expression and expansion, and I think that's why the Ace of Wands is showing up here. I feel like you're coming to some sort of great clarity about the King of Pentacles. We've got the Five of Pentacles. It feels like you're missing somebody, or you feel like you've been on the outside looking in of life, period. I'm going to say that you've been on this journey alone. There's only one person on the horse. You've been on this journey alone, and now you're making decisions with clarity. And I think that you've realized that while you were out having fun, having exciting times and new beginnings, that you've actually been disconnected to the earth, disconnected from the people who are the ones that you usually would be connected to in terms of reciprocal energy. It feels like it's time to come back home and grow some roots. Tell me what the outcome is here. Feels like you're at the tail end of some sort of really long journey. We've got the Death card. This journey has changed you. It's transformed you. And we have the Two of Pentacles, which I did call out right there. And we've got the Star. That's your energy. So I feel like you are more hopeful that the decisions that you make are transformational. So I feel like what you're doing here is you've come off this long journey, and whether it's a journey of thought or a journey of emotion, but it feels like you've stopped fighting yourself, whether that's financially or with your time, effort, or energy. You don't want to be on the outside looking in anymore. You've come to clarity that life is far more exciting than that. It's time to go back home, or the home base. I feel like this Death card tells me that you've transformed, and now you are making decisions about stability. Got Four Pentacles here, and we've got the Four of Wands here. You're making decisions about stability. I feel like you are ready to take what you've learned out there and what you left back here. She's got two pots of water. I think that you're sort of amalgamating what you learned while you were living here and while you were living out on the road, or wherever you were on this journey. And I think that you're amalgamating those things. And I think those things are blending in, and you're realizing you can have both, what's out there and what's in here, internally, externally, and I can blend those for wish fulfillment and hope. Tell me what's around the corner. We've got the Ten of Pentacles. We've got the Three of Cups. I feel like it does feel like you've either been away, or you've been in your mind, or you've been thinking a lot, or, you know, sometimes you just go off grid, right, Aquarius? Like you just go off grid and you do your own thing. It feels like you're ready to express yourself. You're ready to have reunions, be with people. It feels like you're realizing what means the most to you, what you want for the rest of your time here. It feels like you're realizing what's worth it. What is really has value to you. It feels like you're going to be sharing your riches or what you've learned, the 10 Pentacles. It feels like you're going to be sharing your life plan with people. You want to reunite with people you haven't seen for a while. I feel like you're more comfortable with sharing your emotions, but it also feels like that there is a little bit of you that still lays under the surface. So while I don't feel like you're just like, boom, going to show everybody your emotions, it does feel like you will keep some of that to yourself. The Chariot tells me you're not quite ready to do it just yet. When the Chariot's in the reverse, it's usually because the brakes are on the emotions here. But when you're ready, I feel like you will go to the people and reunite with the people who mean the most to you, the ones you want to keep in your life for a very long time. I feel like your next cycle here is about wish fulfillment, doing the things that make you happy emotionally. Whilst you do that under the surface, it feels like that's the plan here. The Strength card tells me that you're no longer scared of things, and that it is time for you to release yourself from holding back from joy. It feels like joy or wish fulfillment here. We've got Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer energy, more Cancer, and Taurus. We've got Cancer, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Virgo, Gemini energy. Something is going to be happening quickly here. You're going to be making some sort of decision, it feels like, with the Five of Swords and the Ace of Swords that's in the hand of the Knight. It feels like you're going to be moving forward to your wish fulfillment here. Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. Yeah, we've got a King and a Queen here. Possibly you could be meeting up with someone that you have deep emotions for but never showed your emotions to them. We've got Scorpio. It feels like there's been a huge transformation here, and you're ready to take some sort of a leap of faith after being on this really long journey of whatever kind of journey it was for you. All right, Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus and Jupiter. Pisces, my water family, my two fishes friends. Tell me about Pisces for the next 7 days. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. I did not intend not looking at you today, but if you want to know why that is, go to the beginning of the reel. Told you all about my sty. I'm having a patch on my eye for a bit. Tell me about Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Pisces. We asked for Pisces, and Pisces appears. We've got the 10 of Cups. Why is that? We've got the Hermit. Oh, I love that. You're really internally happy, spiritually happy, content. You are in your place of joy, Pisces. And you know what the lovely thing is when the Hermit is here, it's like it feels like you are out of the dark night of the soul. It feels like you are in this place now where you purposefully go in for meditation because it's part of your joy, it feels like here. You're really figuring out with great precision what actually gives you joy. It feels like you're past the happiness. Yeah, anybody can be happy, but what's really going to give me joy? Look at that. We've got the 10 of Pentacles. What's this? We've got the King of Wands. Okay, so I feel like it's the wisdom to get going on what it is that really means a lot to you. I feel like you're building your future. I think that in Hermit energy, you've realized what you want. It feels like you realize what you want in terms of joy. Maybe it's a family you want. Maybe it's a partner you want. But it feels like you have realized what means the most to you, what has most value, and the value to you is whatever time I have left here, I just want it to be joyful. I feel like you've got this wisdom through either being in a dark night of the soul or just really spending a lot of time by yourself, figuring out really what do I want for the rest of my time here. It feels like you're looking at the future, building a legacy. It feels like if I want it, I know I've got to go get it. So it feels like the wisdom of making a plan to figure out exactly what is worth it to me. What has the most worth for me? I feel like it's also self-worth is what it feels like. Tell me about the 10 of Cups. We've got the Ace of Cups. This is a really beautiful deck because I see the cards. Of course, I have my little library of cards, right? I always see, even though the same 78 cards are in every deck, right? I always see them as different depending on their illustrations, of course. I feel like it's like you've come to a realization, a surprise almost, of what really means the most to you emotionally, what emotional depth means to you. We've got the Magician here, and we've got the Two of Swords. Something here has changed. Hang on, just listening. What is that? I hear the song. What's it called, please? What's it called? Okay, I don't know what the name of the song is. It's in Frozen. Elsa, is that the one in the blue dress? Look, I don't have little girls. I never had little kids when this came around, so I've never seen it. I've never really watched it. The song that she sings, something within me has changed. Something about taking a leap, or anyways, maybe you know it and you can put it in the comments. It feels like something within you has changed. And I was looking at the Magician with the Ace of Cups. It feels like this is a brand new realization for you. You're a different person, realizing you have all the tools and the skills that you need in order to create joy in your life. This is a surprise. It feels like this is a surprise that you learned while you were in Hermit energy. The Two of Swords is here. It feels like they're now you realize there has to be some changes. You're at a crossroads in your life. You know what you want, but now you've got to find the wisdom to know how to go and get it. Tell me more. I'm still hearing that song. Sorry, I'm trying to search for the name of that song. We've got the Ace of Pentacles. Yeah. It looks like you're ready for family, ready for investing in a relationship. Maybe you're a person who's been single for a very long time and you've decided what you want now. Something within you has changed. We've got the Knight of Pentacles and we've got the Emperor. So I feel you are very immovable on what it is that you want. It feels like you've been on a journey of wisdom. You've changed. Something within you has changed, and now you've got your sights set on feeling a type of way instead of looking at the thing that you want that's shiny. It feels like you are ready to invest in the thing that makes you feel joyful. Although you can see it, but I think that you're not as concerned about what it looks like as you are concerned about how it makes you feel. You've realized that you are the one who is creating your reality, and you can make whatever decisions you want. You're the ruler of your empire. The Emperor is not the one who's going to date here, there, and everywhere. The Emperor is the one who makes the decision about after the end of the journey. Because I feel like at the end of this journey, you end up being the Emperor. You realize that you do have an empire and that you are the person who is in charge. In charge of making decisions, in charge of your future, in charge of getting up and going out to get what you want. It feels like you have decided that you've got to find somebody who matches your level of independence. We've got the Eight of Swords. So how do I do that? It feels like you had a lot to think about while you were on some sort of a journey. And sometimes what we start out with is not what we end with, right? At the beginning of the journey, maybe you're just like, I just want to get married. I just want to have kids. But maybe at the end of the journey, you're like, wait a second. I've got all the power here. I can decide what I want. I am the one who has the empire. I'm the one who makes the decisions, all of the decisions, the financial ones, the ones in love. It feels like you've realized that you're in charge or in control now and no one else is in control. So I feel like you have changed, and it feels like you are now doing things that make you feel good rather than things that make you wealthy. And I mean, wealth is a word, right? I mean, you could feel wealthy because you have the best family. Maybe you don't have a lot of money, but you have the best family. I feel like somebody here has changed the way they feel. Something has changed. You realize that you have everything that you need. It's like you're realizing your worth. I'm a high value person. And if somebody wants me, they also have to be high value. I'll make a decision, but I'm going to be in a place of thinking about that for a really long time before I decide to land on something. Because I'm not dating this one, that one, and this one in order for them to destroy my mental health. I don't think that's what you're doing. We've got 8 and 2, which is 10. I'll release it and let it go before that happens. Tell me what the outcome is for Pisces. We've got the Page of Pentacles. We've got the 9 of Pentacles. Yeah, you're in this, you're looking for an Empress here. Maybe you're looking for an Emperor. I don't know. Are you the Emperor or the Empress? We've got the pre-Empress energy here. The 7 of Swords is. You'll sniff it out. I feel like you are, if you don't trust it, you don't move forward. I feel like you are so confident in being yourself, staying alone, carrying it all by yourself, looking at opportunities. Like when you're in the 9 of Pentacles, all you need is one more pentacle, and you're like, come on, give me your opportunity. But if I smell something weird, forget it. You're out. I feel like the 7 of Swords tells me that you, with this Ace of Cups, of course, with this 10 of Cups, you are in this Piscean energy that if I even smell something bad, you're out. Like it feels like you know what you want. You can see through the 7 of Swords. If you even feel like somebody is off even a little bit, no thank you. We've got the 6 of Cups. We've got the Queen of Pentacles, because you've built yourself up to here, right? We've got the 4 of Pentacles. So I feel like, you know what? It feels like, Pisces, that you're no longer the person who walks into the room and wonders if anybody's going to talk to you. You're the person now who walks into the room and says, do I even want to talk to any of these fools? Like, it feels like that. The confidence of the Emperor makes me feel like, you know, is this really what I want? It's like you hold back because you know your worth, and if they want to come talk to me, they can. If the person does not give me the vibes that I've known them before, or that they give me a nostalgic vibe, or they give me a soulmate vibe, then I'm out. Nope. If they don't give me that vibe, then I'm out. It feels like you will hold back. You'll disconnect immediately because you're looking for someone for the rest of your time here. someone with wisdom, someone who's a go-getter, someone who is like you, a go-getter, right? Tell me about one last card here. Oh, there we go. That's what I was saying. You'll hold back. You'll walk away. I feel like you are now looking for whatever it is that you want in life, whether it's a partner, a job, a career, whatever it is. It feels like you're looking at it in a detached manner now. You're not looking at it in an emotional manner. In fact, you're using your Piscean energy as a tool and a resource to feel people out. And if you don't feel like they're honest or on the up and up, or they're concealing even something small, then no thank you. It feels like you are in a very detached and practical way choosing who you want, because I feel like you are in your pre-empress energy, or maybe you're the emperor. Take your side, right? Feminine, masculine energy. It feels like somebody here, regardless of whether you are the feminine or the masculine, you know your worth. And I feel like it's like, if I don't find somebody who is in the scale of my worth, then that's okay. I'll just run my empire. It's cool. I'm good. It feels that way. That will end up being my joy. I feel like you are putting yourself out there, though, and that's what you need. It feels like you're putting yourself out there in social situations. You've closed some sort of chapter here. It feels like you have come to a place in your life where you do not need external validation. And that's what the World card and the Nine of Cups is to me. I don't need your external validation. I closed that chapter a long time ago. I'm just going to be very honest and truthful. What are you looking for? What exactly are you saying? Like, do you want to get to know each other or not? Like, I feel like you're not even mincing words anymore, but it feels like you are putting yourself out there into social situations where you're looking for people who will give you reciprocal energy in order to find what it is that you want. So it does feel like somebody here has decided, I'm protecting the empire. I'm not giving you everything that I have. Prove to me that you have a place in my empire, and then we'll talk about it. We'll figure it out. I'm going to leave that right here. Thank you so much for coming here and watching. I do appreciate you. Oh, we've got Aries. We've got Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo. We've got Virgo, Pisces. Look, we got lots of pentacles here. We'll call it Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. We've got a lot of Pisces energy here. We've got Libra, Cancer, more Piscean energy. Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo. Look, I think it's taken you so long to build yourself up to here. Like, you've been on this really long journey, Knight of Pentacles, that I feel like you're just not up in your head anymore. I feel like you're done with it. I'm just gonna tell you right out front what I want. If you want to go out, let's go out. Like, quit beating around the bush. Like, should we go out and talk to each other some more? Like, it feels like that. I don't think that you're really holding back anymore, but you are going to disconnect and look at everything in a more practical, surgical way rather than emotional. The person who does the right thing for you is the one who gets the emotion. Otherwise, you're going to keep that pearl hidden inside that clam. Oyster. All right, I'm gonna go for now, but I will be back, and I will be back because I love to be back. Thanks so much for being here and watching. I do appreciate you. If you made it up to here, I'm gonna go for now. Take care. Bye-bye.